So essentially, the input to this particular model is the individual sentences. We are assuming that the input criteria are totally unstructured, and to this unstructured text, we are identifying individual sentences, and these individual sentences are labeled accordingly. I mean, whether this sentence is talking about some exclusion criteria, whether it is talking about some inclusion criteria, and so on. And then we are designing a neural network model, which is very simple in a sense that it is a bidirectional CNN LSTM based model, convolution based neural network. So what happens is that the input to the network is the individual words of a sentence, and as well as the word embedding of the sentence, and there are character embeddings, character level embeddings. Now the reason why we took this character level embedding is that, I mean, for these medical documents, I mean, getting the embeddings of domain terms is really challenging. I mean, there are recently BART has released maybe some of these clinical BART, BioBART embeddings have been released, but still, I mean, depending on this data set, you will find that many of these novel drugs and many of these novel domain terms have got very, I mean, low, I mean, embedding power. So what we have done is, instead of those things, we have also, I mean, instead of taking only the word embeddings, we have also computed the character level embeddings, which have been computed from the corpus only. So we fed it into a CNN layer, and then the output of the CNN layer is fed to the bidirectional LSTM. We use a relation-aware self-attention mechanism instead of the standard self-attention mechanism. So the difference between this relation-aware and self-attention mechanism is that so in standard self-attention mechanism, we have got attention weights of individual words, whereas in relation-aware self-attention mechanism, we have got a pairwise, all pairwise attention weights. We have to compute these pairwise attention weights. So essentially, we construct in cross in matrix of all the possible pairs, and then the attention is computed accordingly. So, and we will see in the results that relation-aware self-attention mechanisms performs much better than the standard self-attention mechanism. So we have also experimented with different type of embeddings. All these embeddings are created over the data set that we have collected from TREC 2018 precision medicine task. And we constructed word embeddings of size 100 dimensions. So, and the input data is of, there are two different sources, as I was mentioning, that one source is the TREC 2018 precision medicine task clinical trials, and another source is the 2019 release Kaggle challenge. So the Kaggle has released, I mean, much higher amount of training instances, and which are also annotated properly. We have used and this has been released very recently in late 2019, and we train our model and tested it over these two different data sets. So so this is the, I mean, very broad result of these different experiments. So we have experimented with different type of neural network models, starting from BiLSTM, CNN, then CNN with BiLSTM. Then we have used only the self-attention mechanism. Then we have used a relation-aware attention mechanism, and we have seen that, and we have compared these results with the, I mean, standard BART-based classifiers also. And we have seen that for Kaggle dataset, BART is very, I mean, we are getting a very similar result as compared to BART. So essentially we are getting a F measure of 0.93 for exclusion, whereas BART is giving us a F measure of 0.92. And but the inclusion has got a higher accuracy of 0.95 as compared to BART. Again, and this is for the relation aware self-attention mechanism, and the stars represent that whether we have used the character level embeddings or not. And we can see that whenever we use the character level embeddings, the accuracy performance boost is getting boosted. So essentially character level embeddings are helping us to classify the sentences much more accurately. Again, we can see that, I mean, this is the comparison between the self-attention mechanism as compared to the relation aware self-attention mechanism. Actually, I don't have much time to explain this relation aware self-attention mechanism, but I mean, and it is also there in the literature. I mean, if students are interested, you can go through that literature. I mean, so we can see there is a huge boosting over the use of relation aware self-attention as compared to the standard self-attention mechanism. So yeah, these are the some of these the basic observations are there. Now, so the next step is I think I am already running short of time, so I will just try to quickly finish. The next problem is on eligibility aspect classification. So as we were mentioning that the problem is to identify accurately, I mean, what are the different type of, we need to identify the different type of eligibility aspects. Okay, so given this type of eligibility criteria, we have to actually classify whether a particular given phrase belongs to any of these 5 classes. So essentially the main hurdle of this problem is the lack of data sets. So we are presently the technique that I am mentioning, we have for that we have to annotate our own data set, but later on we have switched to a co-training model, which I haven't discussed in this particular talk right now. So the technique that we have used to annotate is, so we have used the standard Stanford annotation tool, and we have annotated individual phrases within the text using these type of labels. So we have got 5 different classes, and these 5 classes for any, so we take a few thousands of these articles, criterias, and annotated them according to these type of different classes. And then we designed a multitask, a multi-classifier, multi-class classification system. So where actually we are so we consider this entire problem as a sequence leveling problem. So if you are aware of the sequence leveling problem, so there's a sequence of words are there, and we have to label every word into n different classes. So in this case, we have got 6 classes, 5 of these aspect classes, and 1 is done. So we have to tag every word into these different 6 different classes, and we have used the same CNN by LSTM model architecture that we have discussed previously, and we have got a very good results in this type of thing. So we have used both the word as well as character level embeddings, and we could see that the proposed model is performing much better than the baseline LSTM system. So here also we have tried with different type of neural network architectures, but presently we are giving the comparing it with only the LSTM model, because LSTM is the best possible. The output of the LSTM model was the best as compared to the other ones. We can see that, since out of these 5 different classes, the demography and lab test, these are the 2 different 2 classes for which we have got relatively the same if measures. Accuracy is relatively same, because these classes are easier to classify. So we couldn't have any major improvement over these 2 classes. So essentially we are getting a slightly increased performance accuracy. But we can see for the other classes, typical LSTM typically fails. They are having a accuracy of 0.68, 0.69, whereas we have got a boosted accuracy of around 0.77 both the cases of health and lifestyle. So, and this is mainly because of the inclusion of this attention mechanism, and with combining the CNN with the LSTM, bi-LSTM techniques. So what is happening is, the reason why we took both CNN as well as LSTM neural networks together, because I mean CNN gives us local features. CNN can extract these local features very effectively, whereas LSTM gives us the long distance dependencies, and these things are identified much efficiently using by LSTM models. So these are some of these observations that we have. I am yeah, hello.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption, sir. We have another question. Is that like the question is like, is there any sequence among this table, or like they're random? Like, is there any kind of sequence there
Sequence in
among
where?
this? Where in,
No,
among these
no, there is
tables?
no such sequence. I mean,
Okay.
so we have plotted them randomly. So
Okay.
there is, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, so this is the brief results of this particular model, but we are still working on these areas much, and we are into designing much more sophisticated models in this thing. So another problem was this identification of paraphrases, which I think I can skip because of time limitation. So essentially, what I would like to say is that this automatic mapping of clinical trial to patient is an important industrial application. I mean, it's already a huge. It's considering a huge attention from different industries. And the more interesting thing is that it has got number of different NLP and text mining challenging problems. We have seen that till now we have seen that deep neural network models can help us to address some of these issues, but the main problem is that these problems cannot be solved only through deep neural network architectures, but we need to have more sophisticated, domain knowledge, as well as much more in-depth linguistic information from the text, which the present neural network models are failing to identify properly. So thank you, and if you have got any other questions, feel free to connect with me. And these are my team members who have worked in this particular problem. So we have got Shomita, who is doing a PhD from University of Colorado. We have Ishani, who has done her. I mean, many of these works have been done by her in her internship. She is from IIT Kharagpur. Then Sureshna, Abir, and Dr. Deepika Then. So they are our team members who are working in this area. Yeah. So thank you once again. So any questions from your side?
Thank you, sir. So the participants, if have any question, anyone, they can ask sir directly. You can like just unmute your microphone. You can ask sir, or you can write in the chat box as well. And yeah, so yes, sir. Someone is asking that can you talk something about the causation, causation?
Position.
Yeah, causation. Yeah,
Yeah. So if you can be a little bit more
causal reasoning.
specific, yeah. So what should I talk about the causal reasoning? It will help. I mean, it's a very big topic. So can you be more specific? I mean, what you want to know
Uh,
about this causality thing? So essentially, what we are trying to do here is to identify, the different causes and effects of a particular intervention. So, so given, say for example, causality many causality can be used in many different applications also. So here, particularly, we are trying to see that what are the drugs which are causing what are the different type of effects and these things. So essentially these causal effects are identified in terms of I mean so there are many other linguistic approaches through which nowadays I mean previously people have identified causal effects. So essentially people try to identify causal connectives. There are specific classifiers are also built in order to identify only the causal connectives from text, because there is no such fixed set of causal connectives available. So you can always have a causal connective classifier, and from there you can identify what are the causes and effects of the events. What presently what we are trying to do is we are trying to design an end-to-end neural network system that will actually identify the causes, the effects, and the connectives together. So, and one of the major problem in getting these causal connectives, these causes and effects are the, boundaries. Uh, so, so actually, you need to identify typically, where is the mention of the drug is, where is the mention of the effects are. So, so mention of the drugs can be, you can use certain typical dictionaries or databases consisting of drug names. There are also, databases for disease names also, or the effects. But occurrence of drugs and disease name together doesn't mean that there will be a causal connection. So you have to understand the semantics that whether they are causally connected or not. So this is a big problem. It's a separate problem. I haven't discussed anything on this. So, yeah, anything specific you can ask on this causal thing.
Sir, another thing, like they're asking that there is the COVID-19 dataset similar to UCIML breast cancer, or like a two-class problem maybe.
Pardon, I can't hear you.
The COVID-19 dataset is similar to UCIML breast cancer, or any
No,
different class
see,
problems?
no, the COVID-19 dataset is different, and the CIML breast cancer thing. I think this is on the Kaggle dataset on the inclusion and exclusion. I think. Are you talking about that thing?
Yeah, so if you want to ask sir a question, that you can directly just unmute your microphone and directly ask. Like sometimes in the chat box, the questions may not be that clear. So if anyone having any questions or
Yes.
doubts or anything, you can ask directly to sir.
Hello.
Yes.
It was a very good talk, very informative. So thank you for that. So I had one question in the multi-class classification problem where you were discussing where the labels are demography, lab, treatment, lab tests. So I wanted to know if there is any sequence among these labels. So for example, the label treatment comes after lab tests, not usually after demography. So
No,
is
no,
there
no.
a label
I
sequence into?
understand. No. So essentially, in the training data set also, we haven't found any such sequences. So anything can come after anything, because it depends upon the human who is writing the criteria, right? So and secondly, we are also not considering that whether it is an inclusion or exclusion criteria. So when we are classifying the aspects, we are taking the entire eligibility criteria as a whole. So it may happen that in the inclusion criteria, people have first talked about the health status and then the demography, and again in the exclusion, they are again discussing the demography, and then there is a health status or there is a lifestyle. So there is no such sequence. So
Okay.
we cannot yeah. So during prediction, we cannot use the sequence of the classes. We also
Yeah.
we
Okay.
only consider the sequence of the words.
Okay.
I
I
understand.
understand. Yeah. So another small question. So do these inclusion and exclusion, these text spans often interleave, or are they like in different segments altogether? Like
No,
first
so
the inclusions of.
no, so it can be of anything. So it can be from first it is exclusion and then it can be an inclusion. People write
Okay.
exclusion criteria and within that some portion of it may be an inclusion criteria. So it
Okay.
can be anything. Yeah. But
Okay.
yes, but if the some of the, I mean, if the structure is, semi-structured, if the criteria, the
Yeah. Yes.
semi-structured form that I have shown, then
Yes.
typically first inclusion is, then it is followed by the exclusion. But often, I mean, within that also, in exclusion criteria also mention some of the inclusions. So, I mean,
Okay.
it's not that, I mean, we can identify it from the blocks.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so any other question if anyone wants to ask, or otherwise we'll conclude this session. Yeah, I don't think that any other questions was there. Like anyway, like lots of questions and like answering was already there. So okay, so then we are just about to end the session, and before that, like this is we on behalf of IEEE Computer Society Student Branch Chapter IIT Kharagpur really wants to thank Tirthankar sir for his valuable time and sharing this kind of valuable knowledge with us. And obviously, if anyone of the participants wants to contact with sir directly, you can contact with us also. We can provide sir's mail ID, or you can directly contact with sir. And I also like to thank Monjira ma'am, who helps us get this workshop or this webinar done smoothly, and to contact sir also.
Yes,
So I think
I also thank Manjula. I mean, she got yeah.
yeah. So actually, due to this COVID pandemic, there is no kind of physical sessions are there in Kharagpur. So all the sessions will be online throughout, and we have like plenty of interesting sessions coming that is down the lane. We have already planned. So like you just stay tuned with us for this kind of exciting talks. And and like sir, like we have one small token of appreciation on behalf of like our student branch chapter. Like as soon as the lockdown will over, like we'll disperse the thing with the post. But by the time, just our thank to you for your valuable time. And by saying this, we just want to conclude the session. And thank you. I hope all you have like filled the attendance sheet and give your feedback. If so, then we are just about to end the session. And thank you for your patience.
Thank you.